if I were to give counsel to my younger self and to anyone else who feels, oh, it's too late, or if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, I would literally say, be unapologetic about who you are, about whose you are. Be unapologetic about your voice and your conviction. Trust your gut and do what feels right to you. Otherwise, let it go.
Hello and welcome to At the Podium with me, Patrick Huey. At the Podium is a multimedia platform where story by story, we explore the resiliency of the human spirit with people who are using their own personal journeys to leave a positive and transformative imprint on our world today. At the Podium holds a space for meaningful conversation, inspiration, and life. Today, I'm thrilled to share the podium with Marsha-Ann Donaldson. Marsha-Ann Donaldson is a woman driven by fierce passion and purpose. She is a tourism executive with the most enviable title of Director of Romance for a globally recognized hotel brand. She is a transformation speaker, mentor, advocate, and host of Real Talk with Marsha-Ann. She is on a mission to engage, encourage, and empower women to shift their mindsets, overcome their limits, own their greatness, and transform their lives to one of purpose, passion, peace, and prosperity. One important life's mission that she believes she is now called to fulfill is to coach other high-achieving women to focus on their personal development so they can live a more fulfilled life. She is the proud mother of two, a lupus warrior, and a true champion of her beloved Jamaica. Marsha-Ann was also on the second season of At the Podium. Marsha-Ann, welcome back again to At the
So
Podium.
excited to be here. And yes, to all of your amazing listeners of At the Podium.
I am so happy that we finally found the space, the time to have a follow-up conversation to our conversation last year.
Yes, yes, long overdue, but no time like the right time.
It's the anointed time.
Yes,
It
yes.
is the anointed time. Okay, so I was thinking about our conversation, and Ernest Hemingway came to mind. And he says in A Farewell to Arms, which is a great novel if people haven't read that book, the world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. And that came to me because of a quote from our last conversation from Marsha-Ann Donaldson, which says, if we're not careful, we'll live in a time capsule, trapped in the dogma of what society says or what has been said to us. And I'm on that mission now to embrace that within this season that we occupy, that we are living fully. Because at the end of the day, know this: all you have is this one life, and you are deserving of living it fully, with intention, with peace, love, and joy unspeakable, and that nothing or no one is worth it for you to be dragging through life broken.
Wow. Oh my
You
goodness.
answered Hemingway with that quote.
Wow.
Yeah,
Patrick, if I may say so myself, that's resounding and powerful.
yeah. I mean, Hemingway is talking about being broken and death.
Yes.
Strength in that, but death.
Yes.
And you're talking
Yes.
about you don't deserve to be broken, to walk through
No.
your life with death hanging over your shoulder.
Correct. I said recently that so many individuals are actually wearing grave clothes. They're just walking
Mm,
around dead. There has to be a shedding. I truly believe that we're entitled to a rebirth, a rediscovery, life as a rediscovery. When we go through our experiences with no regrets, but identify the lessons and the blessings,
mm,
that allows us to be stronger and gives us more clarity of our why.
mm.
We have to know our why.
Is there, in the pursuit of the why, do you have to allow that break to happen?
Yeah, I think we're mosaic tiles.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're broken people,
yeah.
right? But broken on purpose and for a purpose.
Mm,
I believe liberation comes and that awakening of our soul comes and we blossom when we embrace that the fractures are a part of life. But the greatest strength, Patrick, is being able to share that vulnerably, but with such a quiet confidence and a courage that you no longer fear the judgment of man
mm,
or woman, but instead you understand that your inner strength, the muscles of your soul are strengthened from your brokenness. And so you consider each day a new beginning. I literally believe that I'm in a season of anticipation. I can't tell you what's coming,
yeah.
but I just know it's good
Mm.
because it can't be bad.
No.
Because whatever could be considered a challenge, it's a lesson to become a blessing, not just to me, but how is my lived experience in my brokenness going to help somebody else?
Mm. The last time we spoke, the title of the episode was "What Do We Have to Let Go of to Be Liberated?" And I think your words on that episode and what you're saying now, it really ignited a lot of people. And I remember we talked about this, and you said you were receiving messages from women who were stepping out of marriages, relationships, jobs that were no longer serving them, and that your words gave them permission to do that. And it's funny because I was speaking to a friend of mine when your episode came out, and she said, "Oh, I saw the episode," because it was the New Year 2023 episode.
Right.
Remember?
Yes.
And she said, "I can't watch it because I'm not ready to let go of what I'm holding on to for dear life to live. So I'm afraid to watch the episode because it's going to ask me to do that." And I'm wondering for you, why do you think what you said on that episode really resonated so deeply with people? And not only resonated, but it was an impetus to take real action.
Patrick, I want you to understand the residual effect of that episode. And for anyone who is listening to this episode, I encourage them to go back and listen to the episode that we are referring to. The messages that I have received and why do I believe people's souls were stirred and not just stirred, but stirred into action. I believe it was just simply the authenticity and the relatability. In other words, here is somebody that looks like I can relate to them. Here is somebody that's speaking about their lived experience. Here is somebody that seemingly has it all together, but has had brokenness and yet still rise.
Mm,
And so the liberation that I believe that people have had from that episode, and since I have continued to really echo in my soul to anyone who has ears to hear. Identify what is holding you back and ask yourself why. Because truly, you are the only person that can manage the things that you can control. And until you are set free to soar and to be, you really are not living.
Mm.
And it's not easy, right? Because letting go has so much weight to it,
Oh.
but yet has so much freedom to it. So it seems like a paradox to many. But one must identify is, why am I so attached? Some folks are attached to things
Mm.
as a reflection of who they are. But I say to anyone, you are whole as you are. You are beautiful as you are. You're not defined by things or people or status or relationships. You have to embrace in this season of your life, you are made for more. And you know it. And the moment you identify that you're made for more, you know it's no longer time to settle. Why are you settling? This is not a dress rehearsal. We're not getting this back. Stop settling. Wherever settling is for you. And you will know when you're settling. Because I encourage you to know this. If you feel angst, anxiety, discomfort, discord, something is wrong. Let me tell you when you know you've let go. It comes with ease, it comes with grace, it comes with alignment and fulfillment.
When you talk about letting go, when you talk about releasing those things that cause you anxiety, I feel anxiety because what you're actually asking is to step out on faith
Yes,
into the unknown, because normally the anxiety is that space between, right?
yes,
The old and the new. What am I going? I have a job, I have a car note, I have college tuition, I have credit card debt, I have all of that. And usually a lot of these decisions are made because of those types of things. I've been in this relationship all of my life. I don't know anybody differently.
right.
And you're saying, let go.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Is it easy? No. But I believe what I would be encouraging, it's a muscle. Build it over time. Give yourself grace too for knowing that you have entertained based on circumstances.
Mm.
You are where you are because you have some life choices to make. And that's okay. Just know it's not your destination. I think if I were to say anything to anyone, give yourself grace in the process and envision the path ahead, knowing you're going to work towards a different finishing line.
Mm.
So it's not for somebody to just say, oh, well, I'm just going to get moving. Some of the things that I'm talking about letting go, though, Patrick, are not attached to people or things.
Yeah.
They're mindsets. It's heart set. You need to let go of the baggage of offense, hurt, abandonment, betrayal. Those are things that will cause bondage. Do you need to let go of a scarcity mindset? I'll never have enough. I'm from a generation that they just don't have it. I don't feel good enough about myself because of things that have been said to me. And I always say, get the help that's needed to be able to uplift you beyond that. Because I'll tell you this, half the work of letting go is all internal. When we begin to have a conviction of believing in ourselves, we begin to get this level of choosing to be radical, even at a cost, and including strengthening one's faith to understand that radical faith means I believe in myself enough to know I look at the person in the mirror, and even if it was said to me in my childhood, that you weren't the cutest duckling on the block. You see yourself as beautiful because now you have renewed your eyes. So
Mm.
letting go is really starting with renewing your mind and renewing your heart. And then when you do that, the other things become more digestible to do. But do things in small, digestible portions. Don't listen to this with the impetus that one has to treat life with this immediate switch of, okay, I'm going to let go of X, Y, and Z. No, there's something called an exit strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if you're comfortable with being the person who is speaking the truth that people need to hear. I wonder if you are comfortable with the adjective prophet.
Ooh, that's a big one. I'll tell you what I'm very comfortable with. I am so radically comfortable being who I am
Mm.
and being the ears to hear from others who need a listening ear
Yeah.
with such a conviction of confidentiality. I am the one with the heart that's tender for people who don't know they need someone to talk to without fear of judgment. I am that soul of compassion, but I'm also that soul that will stir you into your greatness.
Yeah.
Because you see, my journey is not from a textbook. Mine is from my lived experience. And there is something to be said about that. So I want to be the prophetess of personal development
Mm.
to get people to understand that we're more than things. If I were to give counsel to my younger self and to anyone else who feels, oh, it's too late, or if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, if I were to give counsel to my younger self, I would literally say, be unapologetic about who you are, about whose you are. Be unapologetic about your voice and your conviction. Trust your gut and do what feels right to you. Otherwise, let it go.
I noticed in when you sent me your updated bio that you let go of Brown.
Yes, yeah.
How was that process for you?
Liberating. I have to speak my truth. Liberating. Um, and liberating from the sense that that did not happen overnight.
Right.
So let's unpack this.
Right.
For me, it's so important. I never got married with the understanding of ever being divorced. Never. I got married with a complete conviction till death do us part.
Mm.
However, sometimes people are dying before they part. so, so the process of being able to be comfortable, and I'm going to set some people free today, to be comfortable, to ensure that it's Donaldson. It's really a reclaiming of myself fully.
Mm.
But that does not happen overnight, Patrick. I want it to be abundantly clear to everyone. You have to go through the acceptance that this is what it is. It was my choice.
Mm.
Difficult, especially I extend compassion to those who have children and other families connected as a result of a union. That's very difficult. However, one must accept, with God as your guide, as long as you have done everything, do not do anything with regret. My goodness, the lessons, the memories, the beauty of the byproducts However, when a chapter is closed, it's okay. It takes time. And embrace what releasing means to you. It takes time. And if I were to counsel anyone, I would say to them, if within your culture, if within your family value system, I will tell you, I had a difficult time even prior to knowing I was going to end my marriage. I had a difficult time saying, oh my gosh, how do you say, hi, I'm separated? How do you say, hi, I'm divorced? How do you say, I'm a single parent? How do you, a single mom? Those are labels, Patrick, that in the last, I would safely say 12 to 18 months, I literally had to slowly accept that that's okay. So nobody is to ever rush into thinking releasing is instant. It takes time. Give yourself grace. But I can tell you, it was right for me and all parties concerned, without question.
You talk about radical transformation, not from a sense of protesting in the streets politically and marching, but you really embrace this concept of radically owning, coming through the broken spaces to live your life. It is a radical move for many people because, as you say, we are so tied to tradition. We are so tied to what others have said to us. It's so interesting because this idea of breaking through, being broken and rising up, it's a recurring theme that has started to appear within my work here, that it's, I think, a message that people need to hear. Particularly now, maybe it's so important because the world is so uncertain that all we have is this material life that we have invested and built in to hold on to, because everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And so when you say be radical, I hear you saying, let that go. In the letting go, what are you ready to let go of so that you can grasp what is new for you?
Correct.
Or right for you at that time.
Right. I want you to echo that, underscore that at that time, because you see, a big part of the journey of life, and a lot of us are having our awakening because we're getting older, right? So this message to 25-year-old me would be like, what are you talking about? I am here to acquire the things of the earth. And this is not to nullify the quest for ambition, drive, and acquisition. But I want to caution how many idolize it to the point of their detriment. And so I believe we need to embrace that life evolves, purpose evolves, and becoming radical, the radical version of who I was last year and the year before, I'm more radical now. Personal radicalism builds momentum because it's a muscle that you're building. So you think, wait a minute, I was able to, did I do that? Could I, if I did that, then I can do this. And I believe one of the things that has helped is not needing to know the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
And many of us are people who work with specific goals and deadlines and answers to the test. And we need everything mapped out from A to Z. We need a Gantt chart. We need the Excel spreadsheet. We need, the objectives. But a big part of being radical is embracing. I don't have to know what the outcome is going to be. I just know that for me, as for me and my mind and my heart, I need to make this decision at this time, in this season, and not out of emotions. Be very clear about that. But on your quest for clarity, you see, what happens is I believe we will dwell in a web of confusion if we remain in places with people and have mindsets that are no longer serving us. So what happens is that you can't have clarity because you're in this same environment that's causing conflict. If your soul is at conflict, there is no peace to be had until you step out of it. And until we make peace with our souls, many of us accommodate everyone else. And I would say, in honoring your soul, you've got to refine it, renew it, and nourish it.
It's interesting you make that reference to we have to have the Gantt charts and the Excel spreadsheets and metrics and numbers
Yes.
in place. And the truth of it is, from what you're saying, is you're speaking about the part of life that is the unknown part of life. That is again that part of life that makes you say, I have to answer the call within myself, not knowing what I'm stepping into sometimes.
How often can we look back at the changes that we've had in our life that we were resistant to, and in the end, we have to confess it actually was for my better good?
Oh yeah.
That closed door that you thought, oh my God, what will happen because the door is closed on me? I thought I was going to get that job, and or I changed my career path, or I was forced to do this, or this ended for me. And you thought, I'm just going to pass out. How will it? But it caused an awakening, did it?
Yeah.
So should it be that we challenge ourselves to be open to new beginnings each day? Should it be that we challenge ourselves that life is a constant awakening if we are ready to receive it? Are we open to being radical enough to? Radicalism includes, Patrick, protecting your mind and your body and your soul. Like everybody does not deserve access to you after a while.
You have two kids, one son, one daughter, who are
Yep.
doing amazing things in this world. How have they embraced the radicalism that you are living now?
Yeah. I believe for them it's doing two things, and they've expressed it in their own way. They really live a life going, oh, what is she up to now? Expect the unexpected. But I truly believe that they have such an appreciation for my conviction about not treating life as a dress rehearsal
Mm,
and wanting life to be meaningful, wanting life to be purposeful, and wanting life to be lived in a fashion that has a legacy. They're getting that now. My daughter, in her now new line of work as a doctor, um, she has grasped it fully and has her own impact on her own accord. But I
mm,
know it's from the undergirded influence. My son is younger, so we speak about things that he sees that I do, stances that I take. I am an advocate. I speak up for the voiceless unapologetically.
right.
I stand up for righteousness where it needs to be. They're seeing the strength in that. And in my dad's passing, I have identified that I now want to definitely be more like how I saw his conviction in
Mm,
my own way. One mantra that I had last year, Patrick, is if not now, when? Like, if you want to do something, why not do it now? And I have been powering myself with that. And some might say, but you need to be a lot more calculated and a lot more responsible, and you need to have the spreadsheet and the budget to support that. If not now, when? Create the memories, create the moments that will create memories of a lifetime. Because, Patrick, how
mm,
many have we seen that have not gotten a chance to live the fulfilled version of life? Because life happens. Life is shorter than it's expected. And so I now operate, if not now, when?
mm.
I am not going to live life at such a pace to rob myself of creating moments and memories. Why? Why would I?
I had two friends, mid-40s, die in the last year. And so when you say life is too short, you have to take those moments and go with them. And it's actually making me assess those two deaths in particular, making me assess what have I been doing? Not from a lens of regret or you made a huge mistake, but is what I'm doing still serving the person that I hope to be?
I think we have so much in common in that way, Patrick. And the reason I chose the word, and like I said, when I was getting ready and I thought about our conversation, it clicked to me that it's okay to constantly rediscover where we are now.
Mhm.
It's not about regrets, because that rediscovery, the openness to rediscover ourselves, will allow us to say, what is it that I should be doing in this season that I believe my purpose is to fulfill? I am saying from the depth of your soul, if you should wake up tomorrow morning and do something that would fulfill your soul, what would that be? I didn't ask you what promotion do you want in a job. I didn't ask what title do you wish to have behind your name. I am asking you, if you were to wake up tomorrow morning in the stillness of the moment and be given an opportunity, what would you want to do with your soul's purpose for that day,
Mm.
in that moment? What is it? And just lean into that. And I truly have appreciated that for some people, they're in a season of conflict.
Yeah.
And I want to release somebody from that today, because life is lifing. And we spoke earlier about the importance. You've got bills to pay. You have responsibilities. So maybe a part of your soul says, I would like to start a mentorship program
Yeah.
for the younger version of me. It doesn't mean that you give up your business. It doesn't mean that you give up your job. It doesn't mean that you give up your source of income. If you know that coaching or mentoring or guiding is something that you're desirous of doing, if you know that your voice needs to activate for others through this medium of a podcast, then straddle both. But so many are tethered to living in one dimension.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, stop.
It's so funny you say that, Marsha-Ann, because I have had to embrace the multi-hyphenate nature of my life that I've built and be totally okay with that. And
Yes,
actually not really care what people outside of it think and don't have to answer to anybody.
that's it.
Yeah, I didn't start there.
None of us started there. I didn't start there. You didn't start there.
Yeah.
I now say I owe no one an explanation.
Yeah. To that point, is the journey of radical transformation and radical growth, must it be done singularly? Is there space within the journey for two?
What a great question. I believe it's twofold. Radical transformation for me, first, I believe has to be had with self. Break it apart, reconnect the dots from childhood to now. Identify the broken areas, identify the fulfilled areas, and become wholesome with self. Like literally love one's self. And I believe when we become comfortable with self, the quest to look everywhere else to feel fulfilled becomes less. Because you see, let's assume that I only feel fulfilled at 60%. My 40% quest is going to be I need somebody to fill me. I need things to fill me up. I need to justify my acquisitions to make up that 40%.
Yeah.
But if I feel whole and I embrace my healing is continuous to continuously keep me whole, then that's where the power of partnership and community comes in. So, partnering with someone who is also making sure that they are on that path of wholeness and wellness, and also partnering in a community. And community does not mean a tribe of 100. I mean, I'm talking your community, your circle of influence. Your values, are they similar and intertwined? Do you challenge one another? So you gravitate. You're a magnet for what you want to attract and what you want to keep.
You said that the journey that you have been on these past few years is not a book journey. You have, through the solar plexus of your life, found this vocabulary. And is that available to everyone? How did you know what to listen for and know how to name it as such?
Wow, Patrick, you literally do the best interviews. Where do we nominate you for that category? Honestly. um, Such a great question. I truly believe for me, busyness is a chosen distraction.
Mm, yeah.
Busyness is an avoidance of wanting to confront what is not working right.
Mm-hmm.
The quest for more is fulfilling where you feel inadequacies. And sometimes you got to get to a place where you're broken. My broken moment was with my illness, my physical illness, lupus. And I got to a state where I was in agonizing pain. And in that moment, which was so defining for me, Patrick, I literally knew that my life felt like I was going to lose it. And I had to make a covenant with myself and God to say, just give me a chance. Let me make things right with this life of mine. And that awakening, for me, everybody has an awakening. You don't just get up and choose to be radical with your transformation. I don't think so. You have a defined, everybody has an aha moment. It's going to look different for everyone. But what I can tell you is this: many have physical pain, but it is rooted in emotional, mental, psychological, relational pain.
Yes.
And so for me, I knew I wanted the opposite of pain. So sometimes you have, not sometimes, I would safely say to everyone, just like how you do your SMART goals, what are the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and threats? And this is especially for all of the high achievers out there like us. Professionally, we will thrive to the nth power, but personally, you know full well that you're crumbling.
Yeah.
And if you just heard me say that and you felt something in your soul, it's okay. Give yourself permission to know that today is the day that you book an appointment with yourself and tap in to the silence of your soul. Because the inner soul is screaming out to you, and it is saying, you know, there is more to your life than the one that you're living. You are made for more, and you know it. And it's also saying you're more than capable of doing the hard thing. So have the hard conversation with yourself first. Get the help that's needed to support the conversation. Write down everything you feel or record it. Sometimes writing is hard. Voice note yourself, video yourself, cry, laugh, cry again. But ask yourself candidly, what is it that I need to release to embrace the rediscovery of my sweet soul? What is it? Get to the point where you shrug your shoulders. Get to your point where you feel like a wet noodle. Because you see, it doesn't mean that your life becomes free of stress and strife. But the muscle of radicalism means that you embrace it and you move on because nothing is permanent. Some of us have to clear the clutter in our spaces that's more attached to our past than what our future holds. You have things that are in closets that are so hidden that it has a mental and emotional attachment to that season. But spring cleaning is not limited to spring. I say clean house. Clean house here and clean house here. I don't believe in looking externally at this point for the cleanup campaign. The work for personal development, which is why I'm really so strong about it, is as I have discovered and continue to discover. We have given so much power away, Patrick, of ourselves, things, and to people. We have allowed voices to dictate who we should be. It's what we have allowed. But if God designed us as these incredible, great, unique beings, I don't need to compete with your voice. I can collaborate, but my voice is my voice. Your voice is your voice. Your life is your life. And be tender with ourselves. Give ourselves grace. A lot of people have a difficult time. I did too. At one time, I didn't even understand what it meant to give yourself grace. But no, it means forgiving yourself, being tender with yourself, valuing that you made choices that were right in that time and in that season, and know that you have clarity. You make different choices. It's okay. You fall down, you get back up. Are you a toddler? What do toddlers do? If they fall down, do they stay down?
No. No.
Let's rise again with great anticipation, great expectation. Start over. Let go, let God. Surrender. It's okay.
All those things.
All those things.
Marsha-Ann, on this season 3 of this show, I didn't know if I was even going to do a season 3, if I'm being totally honest. And I thought, I don't know what I want to say. I don't know what I want to ask people. I didn't have the list. I didn't have the Gantt chart, the Excel spreadsheet. I was like, I don't know. And then it kind of came to me one day, and I was like, this is about legacy. And the true measure of our life is what we leave behind, perhaps, what people have taken from us intentionally or unintentionally, what we have given them. And so I wonder for you, what is that thing that is your legacy? And however you interpret that word, what is that legacy that you want to leave the world, the people in your life? And are you on the path to that legacy today?
Man, I felt a warmth in my heart as you asked that question. I truly believe that a big part of my legacy will be my genuine quest to develop people and especially to engage, encourage, and empower women to overcome the limits that so easily has beset us and embrace that each individual, regardless of your sphere of life or influence, that I would want it to be that I have been a conduit to help other women live a life of purpose, whatever that means to them. I want to be the chief empowerment officer in the lives of women. Them to see themselves as great and mighty and beautiful as God had designed them to be. And I want, by extension, everyone who is connected to them, the incredible discipleship effect that that has, the incredible generational effect that it has. Because when you change one, you change a household, you change a community, you change a city, you change a nation, you change the world.
Thank you so much for today. I so appreciate is not even a word.
Patrick, I value us meeting like this. I truly believe that we're called to serve, and service will look different for everyone.
Yeah.
But if our voices and if our desire to be open so that others can be unlocked, then let that be what we're called to do in this season of our lives.
In this season. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. To those of you who are watching or listening, remember, we all have a voice. We all will leave a legacy. Let's all remember to be wise. Bye, everyone, and thank you again, Marsha-Ann.
Thank you.